It feels like we're heading into a world of tighter budgets, demonstrable ROI, school districts, school boards asking for what'd you spend the money on? How can you prove that it mattered? Um, and we saw all of Title II get held for a period of time this summer, which we know was a kind of a rough hit on PD in particular. Um, it feels like we're always so quick to cut PD, yet when we're getting to the things that matter for student outcomes, that alignment that we're able to get for the adults in the classroom should be one of the very first things that we measure. For those who are struggling or thinking about how do I manage these hard decisions with more limited resources? How do I make sure I'm there supporting, as a leader, for instance, supporting my classroom educators? What would you recommend they start thinking about in terms of PD and impact, particularly when a world feels a little tighter than it used to?
I think you have to draw a direct line between what the coach does and the outcomes that are accomplished. There can't be any ambiguity about did the coach make an impact. And so that means there's many things you can do, but the most important one is probably to document really clearly what are the goals that were set and what were hit. That's why data is so important. The coaches really need to understand data. They need to document their goals in ways that people recognize as reliable. And then when you go to the decision makers, you can say, here are the things the coaches did. If you're going to cut the goal, these growth things are things you're cutting. And I think coaches who aren't making a difference in the lives of kids in a measurable way are going to have a hard time selling what they're doing. And if they're not changing the lives of kids, I think the school district's right to say that's an investment that's not making a difference. And the thing about coaching is it's not just this year's students. It's every student that teacher teaches for the rest of this teacher's life. So you're having a massive impact when you're a kid. It doesn't, or when you're a coach, it doesn't necessarily show up as dramatically in 1 year, but in 1 year, it still needs to be really clear. So documenting in very specific ways the goals that have been set, the goals that have been hit. So you can say the kids were at this level, now they're at this level. It's because of the coach. There has to be a direct line between the coach's actions and the out that comes